Welcome aboard, this is Danny, and in this video I'm going to tell you all the things you need to think about before you step on board or even book your next cruise. Our first thing is whether you need travel insurance or not. While it might seem like an extra cost if you don't use it, and it might seem like a waste of money, but like car insurance, you'll be glad you have it if you need to use it. As soon as you board, your Medicare or medical insurance or whatever you have will no longer cover you. A trip to the medical center can be expensive, and let's not think about what happens if you need to be medevaced off the ship. This can cost tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. I don't know about you, but I don't have that kind of money lying around. Another point is some countries may make that decision for you and deny you entry into that particular port if you don't have the travel insurance. A couple of $100 extra will save so much stress. Your itinerary can change. This has actually happened on an upcoming cruise where our itinerary has been changed, as of recording, now twice. Itinerary changes can happen at any time with or without notice, even when you're on the cruise. While this is rare, your cruise contract will specify that the cruise company can do this. If you're purely booking a cruise because of the destination, take note that it can change. Itinerary changes can happen for a variety of reasons. The main one is the weather and if you have to tender off the ship. What is the onboard currency for the ship? If you think just because you're boarding a ship in a particular country, the ship will run off the same currency. Let's take Australia for example, and say you boarded in Sydney. If I board a Carnival ship, the onboard currency is the Australian dollar. But if I board a Royal Caribbean ship, the onboard currency is the US dollar. If you're not sure, just go to Google and look up what is the ship's onboard currency. Just make sure the info is up to date. Here's a couple of tips to help. The first is if you're going to load cash onto your onboard account, make sure you exchange the money before you board. The onboard exchange rates are usually not as good as on land. Tip number 2, if your onboard currency is different from your own and you have the option to pre-book anything, have a look. You'll find that it's probably in your own currency. Extending on for pre-booking. If there's something you want to book, can you do it before you board? Depending on what you want, you might find it cheaper before you board. For example, if you want the drinks package, these are usually cheaper before you board, and if you're lucky, you can board at special prices. The same goes for the likes of shore excursions and onboard activities. If you want to book something like this, see if you can do it before you board. Some activities have limited spaces or times and might have already been booked before you get on board, and like the drinks packages, might be cheaper before you board. Should you book a hotel or somewhere to stay the night before the cruise? If you're like me and only live a couple hours away from a cruise terminal, this isn't a problem, but not everyone has that luxury. Planes especially can and will get delayed. If you haven't booked the cruise through a flight partner, the cruise ship won't wait for you to arrive. You don't want to start stressing out thinking you're going to miss the cruise. Book a hotel close by and extend the holiday by a day or two. It might cost extra, but the stress isn't worth it. Do you want my time dining or anytime dining for dinner? Depending on your cruise, you have one of 3 options for the main dining room for dinner. My time dining, anytime dining, or a combination of both. My time dining is where you select the same dining time each night, usually an early dining time of around 6 PM or a later dining time of around 8 PM. Depending on your cruise line, these times can change. We then have my time dining, where you book a time each night depending on when you want to eat that's convenient for you. Don't worry if you miss your dining time or can't get a booking during my time dining. There are plenty of other options to choose from, including the buffet and specialty restaurants. You won't go hungry. Think about the destination and what clothes you need to pack. You've just set sail and it's still summer, and you think the weather is going to be nice and sunny and warm the whole time. While this might be true if you're off to the tropics, if you're off to somewhere like New Zealand or Alaska, the weather might be a little different, and packing at least 1 or 2 sets of clothes that are a little warmer might be the smart thing to do. In fact, just to be sure, maybe pack at least 1 set of warm clothes even if you're going to a warm location anyway. It's better cruise line is the guarantee that the cruise ship will be back before they leave. If you book an excursion through any other means other than the cruise ship and there is a delay in returning to the ship, there is no guarantee that the ship will be there when you get back. I've personally never had a problem booking either way, but I always keep that pro and con in mind. If you enjoyed this video and want to leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. If you haven't already and want to see more videos like this, check out the channel, and while you're at it, why not subscribe? And as always, thanks for watching.